You asked for it. Now you're gonna get it. Don't go away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And indeed, you asked for a new tour of my studio. So I started thinking about it, and I knew I wanted to do that for you guys because you asked for it. And when I ask you for feedback, I really do listen to you. But the problem was I was miserable in my own studio, okay? Uh, I was knocking things over, I was tripping over stuff. It was visually unpleasant, and at times I felt like I was trapped in a well. And I'm not even joking, and I'll explain that in a little bit, but I really did. And I didn't enjoy being up in here. I really was not happy with anything. So when you guys started asking for a new tour, I thought, perfect chance to fix the issues that I'm dealing with. So that's what I did, and we're going to take you on a tour. We're going to start here at my main work desk. We're going to work our way around the room, all the way around to the other side until we get back up over here. So the first thing we have to do is we got to get cracking and get this room straightened out. So let's get to work. Okay, despite all the cleaning, I do have a few things on the table. You got this watch band I haven't put away. I haven't put this away yet. I want to deal with these things here, so I've got them out. But let's start by talking about the whole storage wall. So when I set things up here, I ordered a bunch of stuff from Hobby Zone. And I really liked it, but over time, I added more. And then Artie Station sent me an entire workstation, and I added even more. And so I had a whole nother level of this stuff. It came all the way to the edge over here, and it had parts that encroached down here. So all of this had to be pushed further back. And what that did is it made it impossible for me to reach anything. Look, see how easy I can reach my drawers? Now, moving this much further back, it was a problem. So I couldn't reach stuff. I had stuff pushing into my work zone. I felt like I was in a pit. I really did. I felt like I was isolated from the world. So this is absolutely much better. So what I did is I kind of got rid of most of the Artie Station stuff, and that's not a knock on Artie Station. I prefer the Hobby Zone stuff. Okay, I like the way it clicks together with the magnets better. I like the design. I like the thickness of it. I just prefer the Hobby Zone stuff. The Artie Station stuff is great. Okay, it's cheaper. It's innovative. Highly recommended. But, you got to find what works for you. I prefer the Hobby Zone. So all of this is Hobby Zone with the exception of this module here is Artie Station because I love the little tray and having the light on it. I've got the other one on the other side. I'll show you that later. Then let's see here. I have a corner unit here and here that are Artie Station. And that's because I didn't have any other corner units and I wanted everything to be balanced. So I have those two there. I may replace them. Now I ordered some big cube drawers to go into these open modules, and it's just a big storage drawer. And so I've got those coming, and they're not here yet. So for the time being, this stuff is just sitting out. But it'll be really nice when I get that and be able to do that. I also took away all the Vallejo paints that I used to have up here. I used to have 2 Vallejo and 2 Tamiya. I really very rarely use the Vallejo paints. I use the Tamiya. This worked better. It allowed me to have one of every jar that I have out, and so I'm much happier with that situation. But basically, I've brought this down. It's still it's closer to me because I can reach it. Even though I got rid of this other stuff, it was in the way, and I'll show you those modules. They're on the other side. I still have my work mat. I have my extra work mat because I don't like to mess up this big work mat. I'm kind of compulsive about that. Um, but yeah, so that's what I did here. Very happy about it. Now, as far as the technology goes, well, first of all, you see I've got lights everywhere, okay? But I want to talk about this camera over here. Um, to do that, I want to talk about this camera, and I'll put pictures of them here. They're mounted on these fantastic mounts from uh, 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 from Elgato. Jeez, getting old sucks. Elgato. Elgato makes these multi-mounts. They're fantastic, okay? They can really be flexible and help you get your camera where you need it without it being in the way. So I had 2 of these. This one was attached to this massive mount that used to hold my microphone. Well, I got rid of the microphone, so all that was being held up by that massive mount was this one little camera here. So what I did is I took that out. I ordered another stand from Elgato, put this up here. It is so much nicer. By changing all this around, I was able to clean up this corner and move my rotary tool back over here because you'll notice I took out the Artie Station air booth. It was the air booth, the vent, the hose, the compressor, the airbrush. It just ate up so much real estate over here. It just it had to go. I used it maybe a 0.5% of the time for painting. Otherwise, I always went over to my main paint side. Um, so it wasn't getting used. It was just in the way. Had to go. What I'm saying here is more is not always better. Okay, it just isn't. This is substantially less than I used to have over here, and trust me, this is so much better. The other thing that I did, and you'll notice there's a little clutter here on the desk. Okay, I got this and the drill. The drill's got to go away. Um, I got these things. Um, I had so much clutter on the desk that this big open work area was down to a spot this big, and I had no place to work. I was fighting with things and knocking stuff over, and it was terrible. It all had to go. This is leaving. This is leaving. These are leaving. The drill is leaving. All I'm going to have is my little jar, my little brush stand. Uh, I'm going to keep my coins over here and my tow truck, and that's it. Everything else is going away. So, neater, less, so much more comfortable. I'm so much happier with the way everything is working here. So that is my main workstation in a nutshell. So what we're going to do is, well, here, let me quickly talk about this. The camera you're looking at right this second is from Elgato. It is their Facecam or Stream Cam or something like that. Does it say on it? I can't read it with the light in my eyes, but it's from Elgato. I love it. The only problem I've had with it so far is it's so sensitive. I have to really dim down the lighting, otherwise everything gets blown out. So I've had my struggles getting this lighted right, but I really do like the quality and the size of it. It's been fantastic. Right here I have my Elgato microphone, and this is on a nice swivel stand from Elgato that will just pivot right out of here and get it completely out of my work area. So I don't, if I'm not doing any audio, this is gone. Okay, fantastic. Up here is a Logitech Stream Cam. and it's comparable to the Elgato, but the problem is they ruined their software. Okay, they killed their software. They didn't bother to fix any of it, and none of it works right. So it's always a pain, and that's unfortunate because I've got this one and this one. I got that one. I got that one. All these Logitech cameras that the software isn't working right for. Um, I don't know what the heck that was about, but anyhow, I have to use a workaround to make the cameras work. So anyhow, Logitech camera, Elgato camera, Logitech camera, and then a lot of lights. You saw this light when I got it, okay? And still loving this light, okay? It's expensive, but it's worth every stinking penny to have good lighting in your workstation. So that's it for the workstation. We're going to pivot around here to the return of my desk. So let's go over here. Okay, so a long time ago, I used to have a stand here, like a dock for my laptop. And I would plug in this hub back here into my laptop, and it would power everything. It would power the monitor over here, the microphones, the cameras, and everything. Since then, I have replaced this with a Mac Mini that is connected to the hub, and it's like my permanent studio computer. That way I don't have to have the laptop up here unless I'm using it actively for something. So that clears up a lot of space. I was using this earlier, that's why it's out, okay? Stuff like that, it'll get put away. But let's start over here. Okay, a bunch of bric-a-brac over here. One of my most favorite and prized possessions in the entire world. You may recognize this from the 1960s Batman series, and you can turn that. It turns off my desk lights. Okay, it can control anything that needs a switch. So this is one of my favorite possessions. I love this thing, and yeah, I could automate those lights, but why would I want to when I can do that every day? Anyhow, fantastic hub. There will be a link for that. Everything comes in and out of that, and I'm able to record multiple video streams at the exact same time between the Mac Mini and that hub, and go to a display and run microphones and everything. It's fantastic. I love it. Over here I have my Mathmos lava lamp. It's not lava-ing right now. I'll try and get some video of it lava-ing for you for right here. And that's just because I turned it on. It takes about 15-20 minutes for it to really get going. Then just a bunch more bric-a-brac. I've got my HomePod over there. That's kind of how I control things and stuff like that. But this is just the return area. I can turn here. I can set things here out of the way. I can, just maybe jot down some notes or something like that. I got my pens and pencils. So just a nice little area. And while I was doing all this, I cleaned everything. I dusted everything on the walls. I dusted everything on the desk. And I cleaned out the top drawer and bottom drawer over here that were a mess. And so those are in much better place now. But then we'll turn around and we'll go over here to the main part of the desk. So over here at the main part of the desk, my glowing Fat Guy Productions sign that I made on my Glowforge. Sand from Normandy Beach. I picked this up myself. This is sand right off of Normandy Beach. You see, I got my little Indiana Jones collection. You've seen the videos on making the fire engine model. Some things you hadn't seen. I don't know if you had seen the LG curved double wide monitor, but that is my computer monitor, and you can see I'm running OBS right now to capture one angle of the video here. So we've got that going. And then down here I have this large lighted mouse pad and mat, and then I have this SteelSeries keyboard. I decided I wanted something a little bit different, and so I ordered one of these, and so far so good. I love the clickety-clack of the keys, and you know, some of the different functions. So it's took a little getting used to. I don't know if I've released a video on this yet or not, but I have done a video on this, and you'll be seeing that soon if I haven't put it out already. I lose track. But anyhow, this is my SteelSeries keyboard, and I'm really happy with that. Of course, I've got a couple fire hydrant lamps. I got a big USB thing, and then in the back is a giant power strip, which is attached to the desk, and it got just I have power cords everywhere. I can't even begin to tell you what it's like. Um, let's see if you can see these. Here, I'm gonna repoint you here. Okay, you can see right there my Hot Wheel button signs. Um, I gave one of those away at Christmas time, I think it was. But those are mine, and I love those. That's my little Hot Wheels corner, and some of my other things that I have going here. But the best part of the desk is yet to come, believe it or not. And I'm going to show you that right now, but I got to really make some adjustments here so you can see this well. So give me a second. I gotta. Okay, so IKEA makes these carts called Rascogs, and they're a three-tiered rolling cart, and they're really handy. I have one, two, I have four of them in this room here. Well, they now make a new, smaller one called the Rash Halt, and that's what those are. Four Rash Halt carts. And what it enabled me to do was clean up the giant mess that I had underneath my desk. It became kind of like a warehouse underneath there, and it was awful. So I cleaned everything up out from underneath there, and now I've got those carts in there nice and neat. I have projects in there, I have supplies in there. I was able to clear off stuff from my desk and from my work table. Um, Huge, huge, wonderful thing. And because they are smaller, they fit wonderfully underneath my desk and really, really saved the day. So I'm very happy about that. All right, here is the Paracord Station that I made. Okay, somebody else had come up with a design of this, and I just went out, grabbed a bunch of wood out of the garage, and knocked this up real fast. I didn't use anything fancy. I believe I made the entire thing using nothing but my jigsaw, I believe. I didn't do a lot to make this, but it's been wonderful. I love it. It holds some of the cords and tools and everything, and it's a dedicated place where I can work and do paracording and stuff like that. And then I have my little model building tray, so if I want to work on models or something on the go, I can load that up and take it with me, put it wherever I want. Now, if you look behind here, can you see that? Where that Hot Wheels case is? Okay, that's sitting on one of my vintage Bose 501s. Okay, so I've got a pair of Bose 501 vintage speakers there. I got one there and one on the other side of the room, as well as some more modern Bose speakers to help round the sound out. But that's just one of my speakers because this is where I keep my turntable set up. So that's what I have going on there. Okay, starting over here, of course, we have the Jupiter 2, and you see it's all lit up. And this comes on when I turn on my room lights. It just is automatic. I've got it connected to a HomeKit switch. And these drawers are full of paracording supplies. Here's some buckles, and in here we've got some other supplies. What do we got here? Here we've got hanks of cord, um, you know, spare wraps, things like that. So this is all for paracording right here. Okay, and then this is all of my loose die casts. So in here, the top drawer, this is all the first couple of years of Redline Hot Wheels. Okay, so that's what's here. I'll get a picture of it inside the drawer for you. Then down here is the later Hot Wheels. And then as we move down, here's more of a mishmash. And then we start getting into Matchbox cars, okay? And working our way down to all miscellaneous stuff. Here's the diorama I built of the World Trade Center, my helmet that I wore active duty, and just some displays. Now, right here are the two full-size Raskog carts from IKEA. And they're fantastic. I've got this one full of projects that I want to present to you. This one is full of projects that I want to present to you. So that's all of that stuff. So now I can just go over, pluck something out, do the project, because I know where everything's at now, instead of having it piled up on the floor. So let's pivot around and check out the bookcase. First, I wanted to show you this case. This is so fantastic. It's acrylic, mirrored back. Okay, it's the front door opens up, and it's got all my Hot Wheels going in here. Not all of them, but I'm starting to fill it up, and I really love this thing. It presents them in a way like they're little pieces of jewelry or something like that. I love this thing so much. I'll put a link for this in the description below. And the biggest problem was hanging it, okay? What I suggest is make some kind of a template or something so you can figure out where the mounting holes are. Hanging this was a real pain in the butt for me. I struggled with that. But anyhow, we'll move down and look at the bookcase as we go along. Yeah, I dusted everything there. Okay, we have my 3D printed Terminator arm. Bunch of crash trucks, G.I. Joe firefighters. This is a vase from when I did a temporary duty in Spain. I brought back vintage G.I. Joe deep sea diver, modern G.I. Joe deep sea diver, vintage G.I. Joe firefighter, modern G.I. Joe firefighter. Then we have an old Kaboom game. We have some SSPs, the SSP Smash Up Derby, and some other bric-a-brac. Over here, a plaster figurine that I painted a long time ago. Then we have the Batmobile and some miscellaneous cars. We got our, you saw the video of the build on the Red Baron there. And then down there we have a bunch of the cars that I've done for the channel. All right, then there's some more for the channel, and we've got an old Hot Wheel case down there. There's the Jeep that I did, the Tonka Jeep, and down there is my G.I. Joe foot locker. All right, so let's take a look over here. Of course, we have the Arizona model, and that's like a pride and joy of mine. I really love that. Then here, yes, you're seeing the Liberty Bell space capsule lit up, okay? And I'll get some pictures of that and put them here for you. And then over here, I love the Sweet 16 display. These are all original Sweet 16s, and I love that stand that I bought. If I can find the link for it, I'll put a link for that too. It displays a Sweet 16 set really, really nicely. I'm very happy with that. Then we have a series of fire trucks, football helmets. We got my Nautilus. More cars that I did for the channel. Right there, you'll see my autographed school bus from Tom Daniel. And then more bric-a-brac on the bottom. And then, of course, we have up on the walls, we have a bunch of things, little art pieces and stuff like that. So moving over here in this corner, this sort of become the music corner. I've got the electric guitar that you saw me build, my old 12-string, the orange amp, and then a bunch of models, my Boot Hill Express, some of my monsters, my Batman cowl, one of my prized possessions. Down there I have my Apple IIc. You saw a video on that. And then here we have the two FDM printers. This is the brand new Ender 3 S1 Pro. Videos are coming out about that. And then here's the good old Monoprice Mini, which has served me very well. And so this is my little 3D printing corner, and then a bunch of little bric-a-brac. All right, let's pivot around here. Okay, so this is what's called a bonus room, meaning it was sort of like it could be a second living room. It could be, uh, a bedroom. It could be whatever you wanted it to be. But you see, it came with a fireplace. So I do have a fireplace up here. Never use it for anything, but it looks nice though. And on the mantle, of course, I have my vintage German GI Joe. This is a modern American GI Joe, vintage Marine, modern scuba diver, and then some other bric-a-brac and some pictures. The outer fire engine art, I did all of that. Drew all those on the computer from scratch. Those are all my originals. And then the piece in the middle I bought from a different artist. He was going around selling those at the fire stations. All right, let's go ahead and move to the paint. Okay, so I lied in that we're not going to look at the paint area yet. This is another Calyx area, and it's just for displays. I put in some new glass shelves to get a little more spacing here. Down there is my IPMS second place winning fire truck model. Down there in that bottom corner is the mess of all the routers and stuff like that. And then some more displays. Right there we have an incredible edible machine that we'll be doing a video on. Of course, we got Mathmos in, and we have the Enterprise. Turn on the Enterprise.
Okay, the Enterprise is on.
And that's what happens when I ask Siri to turn on the Enterprise. Love that feature. That was a fun model. I gotta tell you, that was a really fun model. But anyhow, so let's take a peek up a little bit. Okay, we have some books, but up top, what do we have there? We have a Mac Plus, and we have an original vintage GI Joe space capsule and astronaut figure. Got the original box, the record, the whole 9 yards.
Enterprise is off.
Okay, so here's my little Star Wars corner, and there's the cuckoo clock you're always hearing. It needs to be wound. And here's two other RAS cogs, and you see I have them filled with silicones and visors and paints and glues and all that kind of stuff. And then right here is the other Bose speaker. And then right behind me is a Bose sub, and then I have a couple of the little cubes floating around in here somewhere too. So now let's take a look at the paint area. Okay, so because I was able to slide everything that way, I have more room over here. So I took some of the leftover pieces and put them over here. So these are two of the Artie Station pieces that I had over there. I like it like this over here. Didn't like it over there so much. Then I've got one of the Artie Station drawer sets. Here's another one. I need to move the drawers into it. And then I have a Hobby Zone paper towel dispenser. Over here I have my two Anycubic Photon resin printers. Okay, this is the original Photon. This is the Photon Mono SE. So this is where I do all my resin printing. And then you see that's where the Vallejo paints ended up. And then here I have my little paint booth. All right, and that's all set up nice and neat. And then here's where I keep all the supplies for painting. Okay, so here is my no-name air compressor from Spray Gunner. All right, this is both the compressor and the storage tank, so I'm really happy about that. Of course, my airbrush from Harder and Steenbeck, and then a bunch of paints from Createx, and then this is just a piece from IKEA where I keep the top drawers full of tools and stuff like that. And then here's a bunch of spare paints and things. All my wood products, stirring sticks, popsicle sticks, skewers, things like that. Down here is tapes, airbrush parts, brushes. I got some steel wool down in here. Here we've got things like um, little acrylic pieces that I can use to make rings out of. I've got some pastels, and various different little parts and stuff. And then down here in the bottom drawer, I have a bunch of stuff for other things, like wire tying and horseshoe nail crosses and things like that. So I got all that down here. All right, so we're coming around the bend here. So let's go ahead and go back around out of the paint station. So I didn't know what to do with this little table. So right now it's just sitting there. I think I'm using it as kind of an inbound station. And this is something that I'm selling. And that's the box I'm going to put it in. So until it sells, it's just kind of sitting there. But I think I'm going to use that as a place where I can put stuff when it's coming into the room until I get it put away. So I think that's what that's going to be. And then over here is my happy spot, okay? Okay, this is my music section, okay? So first of all, there is the Christie. You saw the video on the Christie and my Lego Batman cowl. This is my Sansui vintage receiver and my Fluence RT82 turntable, and then of course my record collection. The record collection is all kept nice and neat by the backspacers that I sell on my Etsy shop, and you can find those. I'll put a link to the Etsy store down below. So if you have an IKEA shelf for vinyl albums and you want backspacers to keep the albums from falling out the back and to keep them nice and flush, you can buy my backspacers. But so, and then down here, I put the little cabinets on there, and one's got camera equipment, one's got leftover Hot Wheel containers. This has got some plaster stuff for doing dioramas and whatnot. But so let's come back around over to the desk and we'll wrap things up over there. Okay, so in a nutshell, that is a tour of my room. You see I've got it all straightened back out. I still need to vacuum in here. I haven't done that, but I'm so much more comfortable. I'm so much more happy, and I'm able to film and work freely and comfortably and happy, and it's really great. And the point of all this is to stimulate thinking. Okay, you may have a smaller space, you may have a bigger space, whatever the case may be. This is just to give you some ideas, things that I've done, things that I've learned. For instance, maybe you have a bigger space and you want to go longer with a storage area, but you can overdo it. You really can. And this is so much nicer for me. I'm so much happier with the way this is all playing out. I just could not be happier with all of this. I know you're going to have a lot of questions and comments, so put them down below. I'm going to read every single comment. I'll reply to every single comment because I know you're going to want to know different things. So feel free in the comments to put stuff down there. But if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. All right, so that is my revamped room tour just for you guys per your request. I hope you loved it. I hope you had a good time. I'm going to get out of here because I got a lot of projects going, some surprising stuff too. You're gonna really be taken aback when you see some of the stuff I have coming. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.